Welcome, esteemed gentlemen. Being different isn't a choice. It's a way of survival. Growing up as a Sigma male is like living in a world where you're constantly wearing an invisible cloak. No one quite sees you, but everyone seems to have an opinion about you. You're the kid who asks why too many times, who watches from the edges rather than the center, and who can sense people's hidden motives like it's some kind of superpower. But with great power comes, well, a lot of misunderstanding. This isn't the typical story of that quirky kid at school. Sigma males grow up in a world that simply doesn't know what to do with them, and the feeling is mutual. While other kids are concerned with fitting in, you're over there scrutinizing why the whole fitting in concept even matters. Teachers misunderstand you, friends feel you're too intense, and adults place burdens on you that you didn't ask for. It's as if you're the main character in a suspense novel that no one else has read the plot for. In this video, we're diving into the raw, unfiltered truth of what it's like to be a Sigma male as a child. The experiences that shape them, challenge them, and yes, even make them laugh at the absurdity of it all. So brace yourself. This isn't the story of the popular kid or the class clown. It's the story of the kid who walked their own path, while everyone else tried to figure out why they weren't following the crowd. Number 1. Adult expectations are forced on them. From a young age, Sigma males find themselves cast in a role they never signed up for, carrying adult expectations as if they were born ready for the world. While other kids are busy figuring out how to sneak an extra cookie without getting caught, Sigma males are often dealing with a very different set of expectations. Adults sense something different in them, a maturity, a calm, maybe even a quiet wisdom, and immediately latch onto it. They expect these kids to be the little adults, the ones who always understand, who know better, and who will somehow magically handle things that most kids would throw a tantrum over. This early responsibility might look harmless at first, but it builds up fast. Sigma males quickly learn that while they're being treated like adults, they're still very much children who don't have all the answers. The pressure is real, and it's relentless. There's no handbook for how to navigate being the dependable one while also figuring out who you are and why you even have to be dependable in the first place. In fact, it can get pretty absurd. Imagine a kid at a birthday party surrounded by cake and confetti, but being asked by an adult to watch over the younger kids. It's both ironic and exhausting. This sense of forced maturity leads them to adopt an "I'll just handle it myself" attitude long before they even understand what they're handling. And sure, it makes them resilient and responsible, but it also leaves them feeling isolated. They learn to cope with adult-level expectations, but it's not without cost. That carefree kid phase that most children have? For Sigma males, it's more of a myth, something they watch from the sidelines while managing everyone else's expectations, armed with a skeptical smile and a raised eyebrow. At number 2, they often feel like outsiders. From an early age, Sigma males experience life as outsiders. It's not that they're rejected outright, it's more like they're living in a slightly different reality from everyone else. While most kids are focused on fitting in, forming groups, and doing what's popular, Sigma males tend to observe from a distance. They're the ones standing back, analyzing, seeing things others miss, noticing the patterns, the unspoken rules, and the hidden motives behind people's actions. This natural detachment can make them feel as though they're operating on the outskirts of every social circle, never truly blending in, even when they try. They're aware of this difference, even if they don't fully understand it at first. For a Sigma child, this sense of separation isn't something they choose or control. It's like an innate part of who they are. They might be in a room full of friends, but there's still a sense of distance, a feeling that no one quite gets what's going on inside their head. They think deeply, observe critically, and don't jump into things just to be part of the crowd. This ability to stand apart becomes both a strength and a burden. It allows them to understand people and situations with unique clarity, but it also creates a wall that few others can penetrate. Over time, this sense of being an outsider shapes how they relate to the world. They become more self-reliant, knowing that very few people can really see things from their perspective. While other kids bond over shared activities or jokes, Sigma males often feel like there's an unspoken barrier separating them from everyone else. This separation can leave them feeling isolated, but it also gives them a strong sense of identity that isn't defined by what anyone else thinks or expects. They learn to be content in their own company, developing a quiet strength that sets them apart from everyone else in ways they're still learning to understand. Number 3. Why? Becomes their burden. For a Sigma male, the question why becomes a core part of how they experience the world. From a young age, they aren't satisfied with accepting things at face value. They need to know the reasoning behind everything. It's not just curiosity. It's an intense, almost instinctual need to understand the underlying logic and purpose of things. While other kids might simply accept rules, instructions, or explanations, Sigma males can't help but dig deeper, wondering why certain things are the way they are and whether they should even be that way in the first place. This questioning nature often puts them at odds with authority figures. Adults, especially teachers and parents, sometimes see their constant questioning as challenging or even rebellious. When a Sigma male asks why, it's rarely to defy or undermine. They're simply wired to look for meaning and logic. They want to understand the world on a foundational level, to strip away unnecessary layers and get to the root of things. But in a society that often values compliance over comprehension, this need for answers is rarely met with understanding. Instead, it becomes a source of friction, and they quickly learn that their why doesn't always have a welcome answer. This burden of constant questioning shapes how they see the world and how the world sees them. It becomes a defining feature of their personality, setting them apart from their peers who are more willing to go along with things as they are. It also builds a natural skepticism within them, a cautious approach to information and instructions that might seem normal to others. While it makes them wise beyond their years, it also leaves them feeling like they're carrying a weight that others simply don't understand. They're forced to navigate a world that often doesn't want to be questioned, finding their own answers in places most people would never think to look. At number 4, teachers misinterpret them as disengaged. In school, Sigma males are often the ones who seem to be somewhere else. They might sit quietly, looking out the window, or appear lost in their own thoughts while everyone else follows along. Teachers sometimes mistake this as disinterest, or even laziness, assuming that these kids aren't paying attention or just don't care. But the truth is, Sigma males are absorbing and processing things differently. They aren't disengaged, they're observing, analyzing, and questioning. They see beyond the lesson at hand and start connecting dots in ways that aren't obvious to others, often finding the conventional way of doing things painfully limiting. For a Sigma male, traditional classroom structure can feel frustrating. They're not interested in rote memorization or following steps just for the sake of it. Instead, they want to understand the why and the how, not simply what's being taught, but the reasons behind it. This isn't a mindset that the typical school environment easily accommodates. Teachers, who may be used to students who follow along without question, can misunderstand this depth of thought as a lack of focus or commitment. Sigma males can end up feeling like they don't belong, as if their way of thinking is somehow wrong or a distraction. This misinterpretation by teachers leaves Sigma males with a complicated relationship with education. They can feel alienated, as though their unique way of engaging with the world isn't valued or even understood. School becomes less a place of learning and growth, and more a place where they're constantly being told to pay attention or try harder. This repeated misunderstanding can wear on them, making them question whether anyone really sees their potential. Over time, they learn to guard their thoughts, to keep their ideas private, and to avoid situations where their way of thinking might be misunderstood. They grow up knowing that their mind works differently, and that the world might not always appreciate what they have to offer, even if it's far more than what meets the eye. Number 5. Developing skepticism of others' motives. From a young age, Sigma males start to develop a sharp instinct for reading people's motives. They notice things that others don't. The small hesitations, the tone shifts, the subtle changes in body language. It's not something they consciously decide to do. It's just part of how they observe the world. They learn early that what people say and what they truly mean can be two entirely different things. This skill for spotting contradictions and reading between the lines quickly makes them aware that people's intentions aren't always as clear or as honest as they appear. This awareness often leaves them questioning the sincerity of those around them. While other kids might accept friendships, compliments, or gestures at face value, Sigma males automatically look deeper. They've seen firsthand how people can be driven by self-interest, and they understand that motives are rarely as straightforward as they seem. This doesn't make them cynical, exactly, but it does make them cautious. They aren't quick to trust, because they know that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. As they grow older, this skepticism of others' motives can start to shape their interactions. They become more selective about who they let into their lives, choosing relationships carefully and keeping a distance until they feel someone is truly genuine. This trait often makes them seem guarded or aloof, but it's their way of protecting themselves from betrayal or disappointment. They'd rather have a few solid connections than countless shallow ones. To them, authenticity is everything, and they have no interest in pretending otherwise. This constant awareness of people's hidden agendas can be exhausting, but it gives them an unshakable strength. They may be young, but they're already learning one of life's hardest lessons, that not everyone can be trusted, and that the best way to navigate a complex world is to always stay true to themselves, no matter what anyone else tries to sell them. Number 6. Emotionally intense friendships. For Sigma males, friendships often run deeper than most people realize. While others might form casual connections and keep things light, Sigma males aren't interested in surface-level friendships. When they connect with someone, it's usually on a profound level, marked by intensity and a need for genuine understanding. They seek friends who can go beyond small talk, people who can dive into discussions about life, purpose, and the things that really matter. This search for depth often means that they only bond closely with a select few who understand this about them. These friendships, however, come with their own set of challenges. Because Sigma males pour so much of themselves into their relationships, they can feel emotions in these bonds very intensely. They experience loyalty and empathy deeply, and they're willing to go out of their way for the people they care about. But with this intensity also comes vulnerability. If a friend disappoints them or doesn't meet their expectations, it hits them hard. Betrayal or even simple misunderstandings can feel magnified, as if it's not just the friendship at risk, but a core part of who they are. This emotional intensity can be overwhelming, both for them and for those close to them. Sigma males may sometimes struggle to find a balance to not get lost in the depth of these relationships. They're constantly navigating the fine line between caring deeply and protecting themselves from potential hurt. Over time, they might even start to withdraw, learning to guard their emotions to avoid the pain that can come with their level of attachment. They keep people at arm's length, letting few truly see how much they care. But despite these complexities, Sigma males cherish the rare friendships they do have. They may be guarded, but they're loyal to the core, investing in relationships that feel real and meaningful. In a world that often favors quantity over quality, Sigma males hold on to the rare connections that offer genuine companionship and trust. They value these connections deeply, knowing that even one true friendship is worth more than 100 shallow ones. Number 7. Constant internal pressure for self-improvement. Sigma males often carry an intense, constant drive for self-improvement that starts young. While other kids might be content with just getting by, Sigma males feel a relentless internal pressure to do more, be more, and know more. They're always aware of their own limitations and weaknesses, and rather than waiting for someone else to push them, they push themselves. This drive doesn't come from a desire for external recognition or validation. It's an inner force that keeps telling them they have to strive for something better, even if they're not always sure what better means. This pressure isn't easy to bear, especially for a young mind. There's no off switch, no moment of feeling good enough or able to simply relax and take a break. Even when they achieve something, it's rarely satisfying for long. They're quick to move on to the next goal, the next thing to improve, because staying still feels like losing ground. It's a mindset that's as exhausting as it is motivating, and it often isolates them from others who don't understand why they can't just be content with where they are. This self-imposed drive shapes their entire approach to life, forcing them to mature faster than most kids around them. They're always thinking about what they need to do next, what they could have done better, and where they want to be in the future. While this mindset can lead to incredible personal growth, it also comes at a cost. It can create a sense of loneliness, as if no one else truly understands the weight they carry or why they're so hard on themselves. Over time, this constant push for self-improvement becomes a defining trait. Sigma males grow up knowing that they'll always be their own toughest critic, and while this helps them become strong, self-reliant individuals, it also means they rarely give themselves a break. This inner drive, while powerful, often leaves them feeling like they're forever reaching for a goal that's just out of reach. Number 8. Their ideas are often overlooked. For Sigma males, having their ideas overlooked is a familiar frustration. They're the type to come up with unconventional solutions and innovative perspectives, but because they often think differently from others, their input doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. This starts young, where in school or among peers, their ideas might be ignored or dismissed simply because they don't fit neatly into what everyone else considers normal. When they speak up, they're often met with blank stares or polite nods, as if their thoughts are a little too out there for most people to grasp. This experience can feel isolating. Sigma males learn early on that their unique way of seeing the world sets them apart. But instead of being valued, it's often brushed aside. They watch as more conventional ideas, those that play it safe and follow the usual path, are rewarded, while their own insights seem to go unnoticed. It's not that their ideas lack merit, it's that their approach doesn't align with what others expect. Over time, they may even hesitate to share their thoughts, keeping their insights to themselves to avoid the disappointment of being ignored. As they grow, Sigma males develop a quiet resilience, learning to rely on their own judgment rather than waiting for external validation. They understand that their ideas may not always get instant approval or attention, but that doesn't make them any less valuable. They learn to pursue their ideas independently, confident that the worth of their thoughts isn't determined by others' reactions. This journey can be a lonely one, but it builds a deep inner strength. Sigma males grow comfortable trusting their instincts and following their own path, knowing that real innovation often begins outside the boundaries of conventional thinking. And while they may be overlooked at times, they also understand that their ideas have the power to reshape perspectives, even if it takes time for others to catch on. Number 9. Romanticizing solitude from an early age. From an early age, Sigma males develop a deep appreciation for solitude that often contrasts sharply with the social norms around them. Unlike many of their peers who thrive on constant interaction and companionship, Sigma males find comfort and clarity in their own company. This inclination toward solitude isn't born from a dislike of people, but rather from an intrinsic need to understand themselves better. They relish those moments alone, using them to explore their thoughts, passions, and the world around them without the distractions that social dynamics often bring. This romanticization of solitude can lead to a sense of empowerment. While others may view being alone as lonely or isolating, Sigma males see it as a precious opportunity for growth. In their solitude, they can think deeply, pursue hobbies with fervor, and reflect on their life's direction without the noise of others' expectations. They learn to appreciate the beauty of stillness, recognizing that some of their most profound insights and creative ideas emerge in these quiet moments. However, this preference for solitude can also create tension. As they grow older, Sigma males often find themselves at odds with societal expectations that prioritize socializing and forming large networks. Friends or family may express concern about their solitary habits, mistaking them for social anxiety or withdrawal. Yet for Sigma males, this isn't about avoiding social situations. It's about valuing the time spent with themselves. They know that while they can engage with the world, They must recharge in solitude to maintain their energy and creativity. Over time, Sigma males become adept at balancing their social lives with their need for solitude. They cultivate relationships that respect this boundary, allowing them to thrive both independently and in the company of others. This deep understanding of themselves and their relationship with solitude ultimately fosters a sense of authenticity and confidence, setting them apart in a world that often overlooks the quiet strength found in self-reflection. Number 10. Unusual interests are alienating. For Sigma males, having unusual interests can often feel like a double-edged sword. From a young age, they tend to gravitate toward passions and hobbies that others might find strange or unconventional. Whether it's an obsession with a niche genre of music, an intense interest in obscure historical events, or a fascination with a particular scientific concept, these interests set them apart from their peers. While these passions fuel their curiosity and provide a sense of identity, they also create barriers to connection with others. As children, Sigma males might excitedly share their interests with classmates, only to be met with blank stares or even ridicule. Their excitement can quickly turn to disappointment, as they realize that what they love is often dismissed as weird or irrelevant. This alienation can be painful. They crave connection and understanding, yet their unique interests can lead to feelings of isolation. Instead of bonding with peers over shared hobbies, they find themselves on the outside looking in, observing as others connect over more mainstream interests. Over time, this can lead Sigma males to retreat into their passions even further, seeking solace in activities that resonate with them, even if they are solitary. They become comfortable with their individuality, recognizing that not everyone needs to understand or appreciate their interests. This self-acceptance becomes a powerful tool as they learn to value their uniqueness instead of viewing it as a flaw. They find communities, sometimes online, where like-minded individuals celebrate the same eccentricities, creating bonds that feel more authentic and fulfilling. Though their interests might be unusual, they are a fundamental part of who they are. Sigma males learn that true fulfillment comes from embracing their passions, regardless of societal norms or expectations. This journey not only deepens their understanding of themselves, but also cultivates resilience and self-confidence, allowing them to navigate a world that often values conformity over individuality. In the intricate tapestry of childhood, Sigma males emerge as unique threads, often overlooked yet profoundly influential. They navigate a world that frequently fails to understand their depth, driven by an unwavering quest for self-discovery and authenticity. From facing the burden of adult expectations to developing a discerning skepticism of others' motives, their journey is one of resilience and introspection. Each struggle they endure, the feeling of being an outsider, the pressure for self-improvement, and the pain of having their ideas dismissed, shapes them into individuals who challenge norms and redefine strength. As they embrace their unusual interests and find solace in solitude, Sigma males cultivate a profound sense of identity that empowers them to thrive on their own terms. They understand that true fulfillment lies not in conforming to societal expectations, but in honoring their unique paths. In a world that often prioritizes conformity, they become the quiet revolutionaries, reminding us that brilliance often flourishes in the shadows. Ultimately, the experiences of Sigma males in childhood lay the foundation for their exceptional adulthood. They emerge not just as individuals who think differently, but as visionaries who possess the courage to forge their own destinies. In embracing their complexities and celebrating their individuality, Sigma males teach us all a valuable lesson. The power of being true to oneself can transcend societal limitations, paving the way for a future where authenticity reigns supreme. Through their journeys, they illuminate the path for others, inspiring us to honor our unique stories and embrace the richness of our own identities. If you found value in exploring the extraordinary journey of Sigma males and want to delve deeper into unique perspectives that challenge the norm, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join our growing community where we celebrate individuality, insight, and the untold stories that shape our lives. Your support not only fuels our mission but also ensures you never miss an opportunity to discover more exceptional content. Hit that subscribe button and be part of this transformative journey.